Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us at reasonably short notice, Your Grace. Pleasure to see you, Dr. Ramphele, Mr. Matseke, Mr. Friedman, Minister de Lille. Good morning. Today, our city and our nation has lost our beloved Arch, and it is with great sadness that we say farewell to a man whose life was a living blessing to each and every one of us. Even those of us relative youngsters who never had the pleasure of and privilege of meeting the Arch like myself feel deeply touched, impacted, blessed by his life, by his example, by his message over so many decades, which was conveyed to us in so many wonderful, heartwarming, outreaching ways. I know I speak for the whole city of Cape Town, for every Cape Townian, in conveying our deep condolences to you, Your Grace, to the entire global Anglican community, to Mamphela, the Tutu family, to all of his friends gathered here and so many others, thousands around the world, and to every Cape Townian and South African and person around the world who feels this loss so deeply, our sincere condolences. We mourn the passing of the greatest Cape Townian, a recipient of the freedom of the city. You will see his face and his name on our honor board behind us. And one of the last giants of our time. The Arch and Madiba were a formidable pair who together served as South Africa's moral compass and vocal and critical conscience. Their unforgettable partnership leave a lasting legacy in our country in helping to heal our wounds and show us what the future can be. While we mourn the passing of the Arch today, we also celebrate the powerful and uplifting impact that he had on our country, like very few people before him and like very few people after him ever will have. In Cape Town, we will honor the Arch's memory in our dedication to our higher purpose of building the kind of society that he committed his whole life to, a society of unity, healing, dignity, love, and care. Let me say, ladies and gentlemen, that the role of the City of Cape Town, and my role as the Mayor, is to support the wonderful work of the Church, of the family, represented by you, Doctor, and indeed of the state, the national state, represented by Minister de Lille, in whatever arrangements that you need us to make the next few days and weeks a true celebration of this wonderful human being. And I want to just reiterate what I said to you a few days ago, Your Grace, that whatever we can do to play that supportive role and to make sure that with humility and love we honor the memory of this man, we will do. We will do that. And that has started today with various road closures around the cathedral and in other parts of the city. And our team is on standby 24 hours a day now to assist wherever we possibly can. At all of our city facilities across the city, including here, right next to me, we will have condolence books and candles that will go out today. And we invite Cape Townians to go down to their local city offices to go and sign those condolence books and to say a word of prayer and thanksgiving for the life and memory of Arch. That will also be in place, a condolence system at the cathedral, the details of which the church will announce more of shortly. And of course, as His Grace has said, all further details of memorial services and celebrations will be announced, and I ask that you check the city's social media and our website for various rolling road closures around the city. So far, I'm advised that the only road closures that I currently need to let you know of are Wales Street and Queen Victoria around the cathedral. There are some others at the Archbishop's home, but those are confidential for now. Thank you so much for being here. And again, on behalf of the City of Cape Town, we share our sincere condolences to the Tutu family and our Cape Townian and South African community for the memory of a truly wonderful, special person. And I will always treasure, in closing, Your Grace, the warm message that you shared with me from Archbishop Tutu just a few days ago when we met. And I'm so glad that even though I never got to meet the great man, that I was able to receive that message from you on his behalf. So thank you for doing that, and God bless.
Dr. Mamphela Ramphele is representing the family and the Archbishop Desmond Tutu R.I.P. Trust.
Good morning, Dumelang, Sanbonani, Mulweni. Thank you very much for coming to join us on this very important day where we had to say goodbye to someone we had the privilege to call Tata. Thank you also to all of you here and everywhere in the world for the condolences that continue to pour in. Much has been said about the arch, but the most important part of the arch is who he was as God's creation. Here was a man who was not given any chance to survive his childhood because of polio. He didn't have a chance, people thought, to survive his youth because of TB. And the latter part of his life, 23 years, he has lived with prostate cancer. In all of that, all you heard from him was that chuckle, that joy, that deep sense of gratitude. As we mourn the passing of this great man, we really would like South Africa and the world to focus on the teaching moments of this man's life. You've heard some of it from my sister, Minister DeLille. But it is in recognizing that whatever his vulnerabilities, he has to use every moment to make sure that people do not suffer whatever he suffered. And so he was a great promoter of well-being and healthcare and supported people across the spectrum. But with respect to the challenge of prostate cancer, we as South Africans and as the world need to know that it is one of the commonest cancers. In South Africa, 68 per 100,000 men will have prostate cancer. And black men are twice as likely to have it than white men do. But in all of this, the Archbishop wants us to focus on Ubuntu bethu. What does it mean to be human? And he didn't preach about being human. He lived the core values of Ubuntu. And those values shone through in his care for the lowest amongst us, for the most distressed, but also for a nation that has had such a traumatic history. He made himself the ritual master in the Truth and Reconciliation Commission to help us to get on a healing journey. It was sad for him that we didn't go very far on the journey that he set us off on. Because what is healing? It is about coming back to who we are as human beings, as creatures of a God who created us as interconnected, interdependent, all equal, because we are in his image. That's why the Archbishop fought against racism, fought against sexism, fought against homophobia, fought against any injustice, because an injury to one is an injury to all of us. He didn't just talk about it. He was brave enough, small as he was a very small man, towered over by his very beautiful, tall wife. But in terms of courage, she would tell everybody he had a heart of a lion. And who will ever forget that he saved people from the necklace murder at a time when people wouldn't dare. But he didn't stop there. He continued to be a person who speaks truth to power in the hope that we may rise to our responsibilities as a nation that has this wonderful heritage of Ubuntu to guide our democratic process and our nation building. I believe that the greatest tribute we can pay to the Archbishop would be for us to mark today, this Boxing Day, as a day on which each one of us are going to start the journey of healing. Healing ourselves and loving who we are, because we are God's lovely creatures. But seeing others in ourselves and seeing ourselves in others. And of course, nature, which is both our mother and also our source of being. We need to also demonstrate what Desmond Tutu spoke about, of being part of the ecosystem and being worthy stewards of the gifts that Mother Nature always gives us. We pray and hope that we will make this commitment as a tribute to the Archbishop, and that with the support and the great leadership of the church that was his home, we hope that we as South Africans will make this a new beginning in honor of a man who could only chuckle if he sees us walking hand in hand and working as servant leaders to serve each and everybody. Thank you very much.
The final speaker is